afternoon. It's been a little bit. We had some holidays. I thought we were going to be back in Colossians, but today we are doing a blessing out of Philippians, a letter that Paul wrote a long time ago that still has stuff that's applicable. So as always, if this nourishes you, have a sweet drink, and I welcome your spirit forward in the perfect name of Jesus Christ of Nazareth, who made you, who loves you. And I don't know what kind of holidays you had. We could stand 10 people in a room and they would all have different opinions, even people that were at the same event. But I'd like to parallel the holidays that you did have with a verse out of Philippians chapter 3, verse 10, to kind of add to maybe your narrative about the holidays. Paul is writing and he says that I may know him. He's talking about the Lord and the power of his resurrection and the fellowship of his sufferings, being conformed to his death. And verse 11 says, if by any means I may attain to the resurrection from the dead. And I'd just like to invite you to consider with me for a minute, because I know you were able to, Spirit, that if you were to look at your holiday times through this lens, how did it grow you in knowing God? It's a worthwhile question, maybe even an important one. Did you have that jubilation of resurrection power littered throughout your events and times with family or times alone? Did you partake in the fellowship of his sufferings? Was some of it hard? Was some of it not love? Was some of it painful? The marvelous thing for you, Spirit, is that no matter what your holidays look like, Jesus has gone before you and has had those experiences, wearing different clothes, but affecting his heart similarly. He's the one who knows, who sees, who understands. And he celebrates when it's celebratory, and he weeps with those who weep. The main thing is he doesn't leave or forsake you, and he wants to be with you in it all, in every part of it. So if you were to count your holidays and you were to consider what grew me in knowing the Lord, then how do they look? How does that change the narrative that you would offer someone if you were explaining what the past couple of weeks have been like for you? I bless you because we're headed for celebration that has no more sorrow, that has no more death, that has no more suffering, that has no more tears. And so I know that if it was more like partaking of the fellowship of his sufferings, that it's temporary. And that brings comfort, that brings hope. But if you got to see things that you didn't expect to see, you got to experience things that shows how God has been at work throughout the year. You got to have moments with Him where you felt His presence and His joy and His smile over you. Then you're building something eternal that'll carry through with you when you get to heaven. I bless you today, Spirit, that as much stuff as you go through, the purpose of it all is going to be made known at the right time in the right way. It's going to make sense. And I bless you that if you add the understanding of how it got you connected to the Lord or closer to the Lord, or perhaps it distanced you from the Lord and you just didn't want to feel what you were feeling, so you just maybe numbed out, that even in that place, you're not alone. I used to avoid emotion at all cost, and that didn't cause Father to stop looking at me, to stop chasing me down. I bless you because we are now in a new year, a new season, a fresh start. And there's good things ahead. I bless you that as you grow, what you see and how you see it and how you interpret it changes. And your understanding of Him and His ways increases. And you just get to fall more madly in love than you ever have before. God is love. And He is never going to run out of new things to amaze you, to woo you, to wow you. And even as we're having this interface, His eye is on you. And He's got plans to give you a future and a hope. And He thinks more thoughts about you today than there are grains of sand on all the ocean shores put together. So I bless you as you consider how you grow in the Lord. There's no right way. There's no only way. It's your testimony. It's your story. And you get to choose. I bless you that you are created in love and you are formed out of love, and that you are on a path that will return you to love. And so evaluating the season and how love was awakened or how love was absent, it's just a benchmark in your story. It's not a value statement. It's just a snapshot. And I bless you headed into 2024 that the best is yet to come. And I bless you with that truth in Jesus' name.